Hey there everyone, this is Michael Dougal, and in this video you're going to learn about 5 nootropics that have immediate benefits. So what that means is that you ingest the nootropic and you instantly feel something. Good, bad, that's going to be depending on you because we all seem to respond differently to things, but I've actually tried a number of nootropics out there and I found that the majority of them do take a little bit of time for you to notice some of the benefits with, like 2 to 3 weeks. Unfortunately, there's a few of them which actually can provide an immediate benefit. So I'm going to go through their benefits, what they're used for, what the side effects may be, and how to consume them if you choose to go ahead with that. And the very first nootropic that can provide you with an immediate benefit is going to be 5-HTP. So 5-HTP individuals often use to improve their mood. They also use it to help them with sleep as well as controlling their appetite, specifically with carbohydrate cravings. And that's because with 5-HTP, you're actually increasing your levels of serotonin. So serotonin is a very important neurotransmitter that's responsible for mood and calmness and all that. So by increasing levels of serotonin in the brain, you're naturally just in a better mood and your baseline mood is better for the short term after using it. Now, there are some individuals that actually need to take 5-HTP for maybe a week or two for them to notice the effects. However, maybe I'm just one of the luckier individuals that I can have a serving size of 50 to even 100 milligrams of 5-HTP and instantly notice that I'm in a better mood. So let's say something negative happens during the day or you get a flat tire, you can ingest this supplement and suddenly feel like it's okay. But that's also one of the reasons why I, to some extent, dislike 5-HTP, because of the fact that there are natural practices that you can do to make yourself in a better state. It only helps you for a couple of hours after ingestion, not necessarily the whole day. So rather, if we learn practices like meditation, like taking a walk in nature, or doing just one of those everyday things for you to be in a better mood, it acts like a good replacement to using something like 5-HTP, because there's no point in putting a bandage on a problem all the time through a supplement. I do like the fact though, with 5-HTP, side effects are minimal. If any, you ingest a supplement, you feel better for a couple of hours, then afterwards the feelings do go away. Some individuals actually use it to control carbohydrate cravings. So you'll commonly see 5-HTP actually in weight loss products, because it's been said that as you increase levels of serotonin in the brain, your desire to eat carbohydrates actually decreases. And if you do choose to go ahead with supplementing 5-HTP, then you may want to consider as well supplementing with l-tyrosine, because what happens is as you increase levels of serotonin in the brain through using 5-HTP, you also may want to consider increasing your levels of dopamine in the brain so that you're kept well balanced with your neurochemistry. And that's what l-tyrosine can do for you. It can increase dopamine levels. So I've talked more about how to mix these nootropics together and how to have a good experience in this video over here. And this isn't exactly my experience, but one individual on Reddit, I found this post, they said, a 5-HTP makes me feel real good and happy. What's the catch here? Because they're almost 100% certain that it is not something which has no consequences. It's like they feel too good. It feels too good to be true. The second nootropic is l-theanine. L-theanine is as well an amino acid. It's actually found in teas and some nuts out there, and where green tea is actually often used is for helping to provide a level of calmness, a little bit of peace of mind. Individuals often use l-theanine along with caffeine because it can prevent having that caffeine crash or have some of those side effects that are associated with caffeine. So people often will ingest a supplement which contains l-theanine and caffeine, but individuals also use l-theanine by itself. And this is not really a product which individuals would use every single day for them to notice some sort of benefit with. It's more similar to 5-HTP in that you would use this supplement as needed, because following ingestion for an hour or two, you would feel calm, you would feel to some extent focused. But for me, when I ingest a supplement, I usually have bad experiences with it. I feel like a bit of brain fog. Sometimes I feel demotivated. But if you're an individual that suffers with anxiety to some extent, like it's preventing you from get to work, whether that's work anxiety or maybe social anxiety, then there's not many better alternatives out there. L-theanine can be very powerful. I'm not an individual like most people that suffers too much from anxiety, so for me, I don't use it anymore, but there had been times when I used it, I had pretty good experiences with it. It doesn't matter whether you take it in a fasted state or you take it in a fed state, and you can consume it through green tea, but it's been said you would need to have 5 to 6 cups of green tea for you to have the equivalent benefit of a 100 milligram capsule of L-theanine. And so that's the good thing about the supplement. At least you ingest it and you notice something. It could be good, it could be bad, but if it's bad, then just discontinue the use of it. The third nootropic is Bacopa monnieri. With this one, I seem to be one of the few individuals that actually notice some sort of acute benefit with it, whereas most individuals need to take it for a week or two. So it's maybe I'm just a bit more sensitive to nootropics, but I really like the way that I feel after I use Bacopa monnieri, because I ingest it and actually ingest it for the purpose of fighting off stress and fighting off fatigue, and that's exactly what it does. It kind of feels like a nice reset to the day. My mind feels clear. I feel a bit refreshed. I'm very aware of like my surroundings, my present, and I'm willing to take on a bit more stress because I'm in a better mood. And Bacopa monnieri is actually an adaptogenic herb. So an adaptogen is a supplement that individuals would use to fight off stress or maybe help them to tolerate even more stress, like build their stress resilience up. And that's really what it does. But even beyond that, there's actually cognitive benefits that are associated with Bacopa monnieri. Like as per this study over here, it helped individuals with their memory, and it's done this across multiple studies. So what I found from my many years of experience with Bacopa monnieri, I think I've been using it 7 or 8 years now, is that the immediate benefits weren't cognitive. Like I didn't immediately notice I had a better memory after using the supplement. Some of those benefits came more so about a couple weeks after ingestion, but the immediate benefits were more related to my mood. And it's always great finding a supplement which is not a stimulant, but it's going to improve your mood. And that's really what Bacopa monnieri did, because it's not like a supplement which I would ingest like caffeine and it would keep me up for 6 hours. So I found it's a pretty versatile supplement, but the major side effect that's associated with the use of Bacopa monnieri is actually demotivation. And I can see why that happens, because you ingest a supplement, you can get pretty calm. But if you're somebody like me, you have a good work ethic, you're pretty ambitious, then I wouldn't be too concerned. And the way that I use Bacopa monnieri is I have a serving size of 500 milligrams twice a day. I don't use it first thing in the morning because I don't want anything that could relax me first thing in the morning. I want to be a high energy and about to go for my workout. So I take it once in the early afternoon and then again in the late afternoon. Something like taking it once at 12 o'clock p.m. and then again at 6 o'clock p.m. And there's countless anecdotes and even studies you can find backing the effectiveness of Bacopa monnieri. Even just anecdotes, we can see this Reddit post here. Somebody mentioned that they noticed the anxiety benefits and they also felt calm, chilled out, and somewhat careless. And by superdosing Bacopa monnieri, 800 milligrams, I mean, that's not too much, but it is more than you typically would take. It magnified these acute effects. And they noticed a lot of the same effects, but unfortunately, the decrease in drive/motivation ended their trial. The fourth nootropic, and this is probably one of my favorites, it would be l-tyrosine. And l-tyrosine is an amino acid that's found in chicken breast. It's found in turkey. It's also found in high concentrations in egg whites. However, the magic really happens when you take it by itself. So if you ingest a supplement, ideally in a fasted state, or if you ingest a supplement like a couple of hours after consuming a meal, you feel heightened level of focus, heightened levels of alertness, more motivation, and more energy to go about your day. I can often ingest l-tyrosine in a fasted state, feel very productive, just want to get things done, want to talk to people, want to finish all my tasks. I am, however, seeing these days that people are talking about like a cumulative benefit when you use l-tyrosine every single day, and it seems to be working better and helping with your mood and such. But I'm really a believer that l-tyrosine pretty much only helps in the short term. Like you ingest it, you feel the focus for a good 1 or 2 hours, and then it's pretty much gone from your system, where you don't notice those benefits anymore. A perfect way to consume something like l-tyrosine is, let's say it's the end of the day, you have a couple of hours of work to do before you go ahead and grab your dinner. You want to ingest your coffee, but you know it's the wrong thing to do. Don't worry, you could ingest a 500 or a 750 milligram capsule of l-tyrosine instead and have a very similar benefit in having the heightened level of concentration and motivation and productivity for you to go ahead and finish your tasks. And it has this neat benefit that it seems to blunt your appetite to some extent, which also does as well provide you with the boost of focus. And it's a fairly versatile nootropic. You can use it before taking on any sort of task, but you can also consume it pre-workout. In fact, most pre-workout products have some form of l-tyrosine, because l-tyrosine mixed with caffeine really helps to give people energy and concentration and everything they need to go about having a good, efficient workout. And then at the same time, potentially helping with further fat loss. That's what l-tyrosine does. And the couple most common side effects associated with l-tyrosine use would be headaches and also a little bit of anxiety. Like I notice when I ingest l-tyrosine, my motivation is a lot higher, but I'm slightly anxious at the same time. So I want to go ahead and talk to people, but I wouldn't be sort of in that ideal state to have many interactions in the first place, because I'm so focused and just so riled up in my state. But with respect to headaches, I would advise you to consider different forms of it. Like I noticed when I used to take l-tyrosine in the powder form, I experienced the headaches. However, I'm so grateful I switched to capsules and I don't really seem to have those headaches as well. But there may have been brands in the past that I had used with l-tyrosine and they were just more likely to induce that headache-like effect. As for this anecdote here, somebody mentioned the stimulation is alarmingly invigorating for me and positive enough to not trigger anxiety. I step and speak and act with vigor as everything seems to be more rewarding and exciting. And the fifth nootropic that has immediate benefits would be rhodiola rosea. So this is also a herb similar to Bacopa monnieri, but used in very different circumstances. I feel like rhodiola rosea more helps you with energy production, more helps you under a fatigue state. I think like Bacopa is more mental, rhodiola rosea is a bit more physical in the sense of you can ingest rhodiola rosea and not only do you feel like your mind's cleared up, but also you have more physical energy. So I really describe rhodiola rosea as a nap in a pill because that's how it feels. You feel a slight appetite blunting, and it makes it such that you can have the second half of the day as productive as the first half of the day. So as you're going about getting fatigued, tired, stressed out, you can ingest some rhodiola rosea, clear your mind, and continue to go throughout your day in a somewhat optimal state. And personally, I find this nootropic pretty strong. It's so strong wrong that on my off days, I usually avoid taking rhodiola rosea because on my off days, I'm not too concerned about being productive the whole day. I want to just naturally wind down. But if you're somebody that works really long hours, maybe 10-hour work days, then it's just a perfect supplement in the sense of the last few hours of the day, you still feel sharp, energetic, and ready to go about whatever tasks you have at hand. And if you were to ask about the side effects, honestly, I can't think of too many. If you do take it too close to bed, it can keep you up at night, but often individuals don't notice rhodiola rosea working, and that's because it's a supplement that is commonly underdosed. So a good serving size would be 300 to 500 milligrams per serving, whereas you often find it in nootropic blends out there, and it's a serving size of only like 50 milligrams. So consider ingesting a little bit more if you're not noticing the benefits, and if you respond to it okay, then you can consider using it twice a day, not just once. So for me, I take it in a similar way in which I would use Bacopa monnieri. I would take it once in the early afternoon, and I would take it once in the late afternoon at a serving size of 500 milligrams per serving. Again, now I don't take it every single day, but I'll take it at least 5 days during the week. And this anecdote summarizes rhodiola rosea very well because they mentioned that most adaptogens they've tried, they don't notice anything from them. However, when they ingested rhodiola rosea, they feel it quite intensely and feel absolutely incredible on it because they feel as if it's a milder stimulant. And that's been my experience with it as well. I don't take time off of it. However, you may want to consider taking it in a fashion of 2 months on, followed by 2 weeks off, again, depending on how you respond to it and whether or not you're somebody that does actually build a tolerance to substances. Like some individuals can get away with taking caffeine every single day and still feel the benefit, like myself, where some individuals build a tolerance and need to take time off of them. What other nootropic would you add to this list? I want to see it in the comment section below. Do subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And if you want to chat with me one-on-one, you can consider messaging me on Patreon or in my Instagram DMs. And make sure to visit our Discord server where we have a 24/7 chat room. We're having a whole lot of fun. I thank you for your support and thank you for your interest in nootropics and look forward to seeing you next time.